Congratulations on your first win.
Yeah, sure.
Before we go into the game, quick question: How does it feel good to finally win a game, or finally with 4 draws?
Yeah, it feels good. So obviously there was no despair, but yeah, it makes a huge difference to get one today.
Yeah. And how did you go into this game? Were you like, I really want to win? You probably want to win every game, but were you from the start going for a win?
Yeah, but I mean, Loek is not so bad that you can just beat him on demand. So
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I cannot just play something ridiculous.
You have to think at some point.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I tried to play normally.
Yeah. Can I give you the
Yeah. So
look at the game? D4.
well, here I sort of expected. I mean, once he went bishop f4, I sort of expected him to go for this because normal line here is queen d5 and b3, queen a5, queen d2, and white is very slightly better in the endgame. But okay, this is more interesting at least. Yeah, I think this. I don't think b3 is good. So
No, there was a tweet from someone from Norway who was afraid of your bishop after b3, but we should.
yeah, of course. If I don't do anything, it's just lost. But I think I can go queen d5 and it should be all right. Yeah, I'm not so sure about what I did here, but here there was also a move rook d8, and if he takes, queen takes. I don't think it's too terrible since I have pressure on g2. But
the bishop pair is not worth too much in that position, maybe.
yeah, I mean, long term it's a huge deal, but short term, it's like, for instance, if he takes bishop to e2, then I cannot take, obviously, because of bishop f3, but I can play e5, and there's something like, I don't know, castle takes. Yeah, but I thought in general it was more interesting to keep the bishop. H4.
Did that surprise you?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't, because I didn't expect to get mated. So, but he's very solid in the center. So he's not burning any bridges yet. So here there was a choice. Many continuations. I can play very slowly, like a5, knight a6. But I sort of like the plan with rook d8.
Does h5 ever cross your mind?
Yeah,
or
h5, but I think in general h4, h5 is good to have included for him because it softens up my structure a bit, and I think, I mean, in such cases, when he's not mating, it's always an open question who will get to the h file. Like in the game,
he tried a lot, right? Queen back to b3.
Yeah, but then, okay, so here I think queen b3 is quite clever. The idea is that after h5 I go queen to e6.
You have to click new.
Yeah, and it doesn't really, it's not so easy for him. Like, the threat is bishop d4, so after hg, he can go something like bishop e2, but I believe I can just take that pawn on g2.
Yeah.
And my knight is coming to d7. And, okay, but anyway, I'm not sure about queen f5. It was based on just a simple miscalculation, so maybe I could have tried a5 instead here.
Yeah.
h5, a4. Maybe queen b6, but it looks quite odd.
And what was it that you missed with queen f5?
Yeah, so no, queen f5, just that h5, if I go knight d7, then he goes hg.
Oh, sorry, you have to go and click new variation.
Yeah.
Great.
Looking at this
Oh, you're
square.
looking at yourself, yeah.
Yeah, at this, yeah, I should be looking here. You can go d5, this was the issue.
Yeah. Knight c5, queen c4.
Yeah, knight c5, queen c4. Even here there are some interesting options like knight to a4. But maybe dc takes queen b3 or something works. And but I'm not sure about that. But also maybe knight a4. And knight e4 was also a trick. I mean, the trick is now knight e4 or queen e4, then bishop c3 or bishop d5, but maybe you can just take. I don't see what I have.
Yeah.
Anyway, after e6, I don't think there is anything too terrible for black. I don't know if you can... I don't think my queen is ever short of the square, so if he tries to go bishop c7 or something at some point, to trap it in a clever way, I don't...
That never really...
I don't believe that will ever work. This was just to keep it a little more interesting. I could also maybe go queen to g5 and then bishop e4. I can chop it off, queen d5. I prefer to keep tension a bit.
And here Yasser suggested instead of king f1, f3 and king f2. Is that a safer setup? Or?
But he has to reckon with e5 here.
I'll tell Yasser that.
Yeah. So possibly e5 is a good move. I don't know if it is. Maybe some queen b3 is possible. But I'm sure he... in general, position should be more or less balanced since... he's played h4, h5, but he's solid in the center. He hasn't burned any bridges. And while I'm not getting mated, my pieces are on decent positions. Once I go rook c8, I will be fully mobilized.
But here you felt it was still balanced.
Yeah, it's balanced.
All right.
Knight f6. I just wanted, in case of rook c8, not to allow queen g4. And that. I probably more or less need to go queen h5, and I don't know if he takes immediately, but it looked very, very dull, like f3 maybe. So here, the bishop looks nice on e5. As long as he's not getting his queen into the attack, then I'm just not going to be mated. So
here, every move do you check if you're not mated?
Yeah, of course, but in general there shouldn't be any. And now I might be intending knight d5 next. And the plan is eventually to take over the h file and make him regret.
That he ever opened the h file.
So now
that was a personal thing. You open the h file, I'm going to use the h file. H file too.
But it's very typical, actually. So queen d2 surprised me a bit because he allowed knight g4, but I guess he gained some tempi. But here I think this was too much.
Was it too much? Because we were wondering you could just retreat.
Yeah, I could retreat, and I have a very nice position. Probably not a real advantage, but a very decent position.
So at this moment he plays f3. What happens in your head that you come to the queen g5?
Well, first of all, I thought it was quite good. And then I realized I might have missed something. But I thought that even if I miss something, then I will have at least a couple of pawns and an initiative in his time trouble.
Yeah, so the time trouble also makes a difference?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a huge difference. So, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, king e1, I was a little bit disappointed that he found that, because I from afar I hadn't really seen that. Because there are many ways to go wrong here for white. The simplest one is queen e2 and rook d3, and
nice.
He will lose both his
rooks with one trick.
And also after knight e2, which is maybe most natural move, rook g4. There's problems protecting g2, and I mean, there is just no way that I'm worse here, at least. So I was pretty happy with that. But king e1, now I just missed rook g4, knight e4, queen e5, that he has rook c5 here, and I think that's pretty bad news.
Yeah.
So here I had
queen e5.
I had to start hustling a bit.
Oh, this is where the hustling starts.
Yeah.
And you were also playing fast. Is it also part of your strategy? Like he's low on time, I also just
yeah,
blitz out my move?
I know that Loek to some extent loves that when he's short of time, that his opponent starts playing fast, he thinks he'll flag him, and then with a 30-second increment, it's it's not so easy. But yeah, here I just felt that the clock was a huge part of the game, so I should try to use it to my advantage. I don't know if he could have played better here, but I think whatever he does, I have decent compensation at least.
Yeah. So after knight would you be annoyed if he played queen c?
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting him. I mean, I allowed the queen trade at many
occasions.
Yeah, many occasions. Yeah.
And so how do you judge that endgame?
I don't think black is really worse. Like rook takes g2, or maybe rook d8 first and takes. He cannot go bishop e4 because I take, and rook e2 and bishop h1. Yeah, I don't think black is worse. The bishop is strong. I mean, the only way he could be better is that eventually he gets to drive away my bishop and
in this position
invade with the rooks. But here I mean, apart from the fact that I'm a piece down, my position is just so solid that I don't think he has anything.
But you would continue to play on for a win in these positions, but
well, I would continue to play.
Yeah.
So, whether I'm playing for a win or not, I don't know.
No.
And this was another moment. He could have played queen h4, and then I have several options. I can go king g7, and I don't know whether he has anything better than a repetition. If I go g5, then queen h3, I think the rook might be trapped, and bishop e4, rook c8, that doesn't seem to work. So what I was going to do was probably queen
again
g5.
exchange.
But this is already a slightly better version. I think the pawn is not so great on e4, since there will not be a support for his knight on d4. And yeah, it feels like I'm slightly better. And now rook c3, rook d8. Now I felt that objectively speaking, I might be a little bit better. And here, I don't think what he did here was very clever, but it's not so easy.
No.
Even here, queen f4 was possible, and I don't know.
So you just had to trade queens at some point.
At some point. Because now it feels like everything's protected, and I just have, there's equal material, basically, and I have an initiative. But it doesn't mean that it's easy to win by any means. So here, obviously, there was a trap with rook g3 and knight e6 and rook h2. But that's quite transparent. So I don't know whether I played so well here, but to some extent, I was playing for.
For us commentators and the audience, it's nicer if it's a little bit dubious at some point. It's nicer than a clean draw or.
No, at this point I felt that I should just keep posing him some problems and see if I can win the game before
dinner.
Yeah, before dinner. Before the time control. Anyway, I thought that there's nothing terrible that can happen to my position since it's very solid now. So.
Yeah.
And this bishop e2 surprised me. And here I was just looking for a forced win, but I couldn't find it. Maybe there is one, but.
Anyone? No. Help him. No.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean this. So eventually I settled on this move.
The computer, an unknown computer that hasn't identified it,
maybe
e5.
Maybe e5 and knight d5
and then f5
and then f5. Yeah, this is probably very good.
Yeah.
I just really wanted him to go knight e2.
You really, because you wanted this variation, because you seemed surprised when he played it. Your body language.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. Okay. I'm hoping, but I don't expect that he will miss it. Yeah. There are other traps like like rook d3, bishop b5. So it's not easy to find a move. There are traps also queen e3. Many natural moves just lose at once. So that makes it
Especially with 30 seconds on the
hard
clock,
to find.
that's hard.
So once I gave up on finding a forced win, then I thought just make a move, and as long as I cannot see a decent move for him, then probably he can't either.
Probably, that's a good way to look at it. We have a short video. Inspire you that Loek beat you a little bit, or was it just fun to play the match? Or were you I really want to?
Yeah, it was fun. But I think people have a different idea about the concept of fun. So for me, just walking around and not caring whether we score or the opponent score, even if it's a friendly game, to me that's not fun. And
that's to be an element.
That's the way I am. So I think it's better if everybody cares a little bit. So
so competition equals fun.
No, I just think that some people say that the lack of competition equals fun, and to me that is not so.
Yeah, well, it's a clear view at life. Thank you so much for being here. Last year I commented as well, and you won your first game as well.
Yeah,
so maybe,
well, that was my second game.
Oh, where's your second with Aronian?
Yeah, but because then I'd lost to Wojtaszek, and then I beat.
Oh, that's
Luke.
why you beat him, and then you beat Aronian, so you got 2+1. So we have a question from the audience, Mr. Sarawan.
A very serious question from Magnus. You talk about competition. Did you score yesterday?
Yeah, I scored 3 goals. One was no. No, the other people scored more and played better. But one of the goals was a good one. But I remembered it like I got the ball on the right flank, then I cut into the middle and put it in the far left corner the reality was that I received the ball, the defender didn't come near me, and okay, I put it in the top corner, but I wasn't on the
And what feels better, a great goal like that or a beautiful checkmate? What do you enjoy more?
Beautiful checkmate.
Good, you picked the right sport. Magnus Carlsen, thank you very much. Good luck.